Hello guys and welcome to the Game Beans. I'm RPXX and today I'm going to do Archon again, but this time ranged. There are different ways of doing this, but I found the best one, and there will also be slight changes depending how you want it to be. Okay, so let's start it off. Let's say with the spec, this is what I've gone for. I've gone for 51 Archon, 21 Pyromancer and 4 Harbinger. Why have I gone for Pyromancer? I've gone for the Pyromancer's armor, so it makes it the most instant. Most of the spells from Archon, such as Volcanic Bomb, no that doesn't work, Surging Flame, and then you've got the Fireball one with Ignition on it. You've also got the Improved Flame Bolt, and that's about it. And some other cool stuff, you got the Flicker, and you got the 4% more damage from Harbinger. You could, in theory, take out the Flicker, put it into Ignite, so instead of doing 10% more damage you do 13% more damage with Archon. There are different other stuff you can do with Archon. I would never suggest going for 58. 61 you could maybe if it was very needed on a boss, but otherwise 58 no, 54 yes and no. Why yes and no? It would go for 54 Archon, you would go for in case, if you have no bard in a 10-man. If you wanted an Archon and there was no bard, then you would go for Granite Salavo. Bearing in mind when you're past your enemy level 54 Archon, you get an extra 100, 200 and whatever, so I think it's 225 more spell power, because that's what Granite Salavo does. So your parser will be incorrect. When you're with Archon and you're doing 54, you can either go for take 3 points out of Harbinger and then put them into Archon, so you get 54 points, and so you have Granite Salavo, and you would also have to change the Pyromancer. You won't be using Fireball because Granite Salavo does more DPS. So you would take out the stuff from Improved Combustion and also Improved Fireball. You would put them into Ignite, Charge, and then the rest into you put them into here to get the more charge, and then I believe maybe just put 2 in maximum charge. I can't remember it fully, but they will be in the description below and on our website, and the written guides when it will be up. There's also, that's if you want to have Cinderburst with 54 Archon, or you can also go without Cinderburst and more points into Harbinger to get increased spell power. But anyway, this is how we go. I'm using the opportunity macro from the other specs because I really couldn't be asked to change stuff around. I'm not using Pelican Stone in it, and I'm not using Granite Salavo or Lightning Spot. So this is what I'm using in my macro. This will also be in the guide below whenever it's done. What buffs are we using? We're using Lightning Blade, Pyromancer's armor, Flaring Intellect, and also your normal Archon auras. And you'll also have all your normal Archon abilities. With this one, personally, you would be using Power Drain. You do get 10 minus charge, so it probably, if you don't want to have Flicker, you can use Insulized Charge instead, and yeah, you use Insulized Charge instead, put 1 point in there to get 3% more damage with, 3% more, so you'll be doing 13% more damage with Insulized Charge. So it's up to you where you put the point. I put it into Flicker because I'm moving around, but you can change stuff around. So with this spec, make sure you definitely have Lingering Dust on, as it reduces the cast time and also auto delay time. It's very good for cast time. So all we need to do really is spam the macro and then use Cinderburst when we get the props. So let's give it a whirl. So make sure I've got the bust. I'm not going to be doing all the busts because I'm just going to show you how much DPS it does. Yes. I thought I was in Granite Salavo then, but it wasn't. My bad. So, Pillaging Stone, I didn't mean to click that, but you would pre-stack on Pillaging Stone, or beforehand, or you could, instead of using Fireball, use Pillaging Stone at the start, after you put all your buffs on, so you can get your bonuses back that you don't have from having your auras up. I highly recommend using pre-stack it before you do a boss fight to get the more DPS during the encounter. So at the moment I'm doing 7. This at the moment I'm doing, I should be doing over 7k DPS. I've been plastering this quite a bit, and I've been doing around about 7.3, 7.4k DPS as Archon ranged. This isn't as much DPS as the melee, but if you don't want to be in melee and you want to be in range, this is the best DPS for your raid, for you, and giving all your raid bonuses as an Archon. So this is definitely the DPS spec you would be using, unless you want to go for Granite's Lavo because you don't have a Bard, but you should have a Bard anyway. You would normally prefer Bard over an Archon, especially in 10 mans and stuff like that. And if you're in 10 man, you might be using the 10 man support kind of Archon instead. So this is what I recommend for using for Archon. If you want to change around, give 54 points. That will also be in the guide uh, below in the description or on the screen, or www.gamers.co.uk, which is where it will link you to. But this is what I recommend highly using instead. You can, at the moment I'm not passing as high as I was earlier, or I kind of do when I get the crits off and all that kind of stuff, but otherwise this spec is very quite casting related, and on the Thunderburst, and it's all about critting, especially with this spec, as your crits are a hell of a lot of damage. So that's the Archon. Here we go, doing about 7.3. I'm rising, so definitely much better than using 54 Archon, and it's definitely only just a little bit less more DPS than 50 Archon on the dummy, but only because of the reason why the Granite Lava gives you the DPS or spell power increase. So this, I've been RPX6 for the Gaming Beans. This has been Archon Ranged. Thanks for watching. Maybe sure to check out the guides when they come out. They'll be a little bit after the videos because they take quite a while to do. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.